Alright, hey there Prox Gaming Crew, and this is Proxify here, and we are back for another Prox Guide walkthrough of the Phantom Hourglass. And currently right now we're here in the Isle of Ember, which we just went and taken on with Blaz, a boss that was here in the Temple of Fire location in the way of the Isle of Ember. Now, however, since we already went and challenged out with Blaz, well, we do have a sand type of substance at this point in time, and we don't really know exactly what we can go and do with this right now. But however, since we are right now in our way of the Temple of the Ocean King, well, there is a special item, which that is the main premise of this game, and that is going to be known as the Phantom Hourglass. And to get a little bit of a synopsis on what this whole sand and Phantom Hourglass is going to be, well, so far throughout our way, we only know just a little bit about throughout the time of the Temple of the Ocean King, but every part of said dungeon that you go and do outside of the actual said Temple of the Ocean King, you'll get like all this type of weird sand, and all this sand is going to be added into extra minutes on the clock, so that when you're here in the actual said part of this place, you'll have to go through this area with the amount of time that you be running on into with. Now mind you, every time that you get new sand, the timer will start rapidly going and increasing a little bit more every time. Now currently, for what's going to happen here is that since we already got ourselves our first of many sand type of form substance for our hourglass here, I believe we actually have a total of, I believe, 10 minutes, and that should at least give us enough time to pick up for the next type of sea chart that's going to be here. Now for this type of sea chart in specifically, is that it doesn't really have one of my favorite type of sea charts to get in this game just yet. I think we'll probably have to wait just a little bit longer for that to go on and happen, but there is a set part at some point. If you actually did have a DS alongside with you, you would able to be closing it, and then you can reopen it back up, and then it will actually give you the next location for where you do have to go and head off into with your sea chart, which now should be at least happening somewhat relatively soon, but for right now that's not going to really happen. For this type of sea chart that we're going to have to go and pick up with, is instead of us actually having to go and do something flipping upside down and seeing what else is going to be on our little secret type of gamepad, this time around what we're going to have to do is actually blow the different parts of the dust that is going to be alongside within the sea chart, but we'll worry about that when we go and see that here. To go and start off with the new location part of the Temple of the Ocean King, well, we got some phantoms, and these guys are going to be really annoying. For right now, we can't do anything about with these said guys yet. I think there is a thing that will happen soon. I don't know if it's going to be a part of the fairies or not, or if it's going to be another type of main item that we'll get later, but we will have the option to knock around with these phantoms and actually get them at least somewhat more knocked out, or more getting them into or sending them into like the void somewhere. But for right now, we can't really go and worry about that, so we kind of have to play a little bit of some cat and mouse with these said guys, and hopefully they don't really go and spot us. Now, so far, within the time here of the Temple of the Ocean King, and more that you keep on going through this said area, you should actually come across with some of these red type of pots here. Those said red pots are something very helpful to go and at least somewhat keep yourself well protected from those said phantoms that will try to attack you. And however, as you guys may be seeing throughout most of this way here of all these different locations so far, as we keep on going further and further throughout this set of the Temple of the Ocean King, there's a lot of different bombable access type of parts here. Now for right now, we don't really have the bombs at this point in time, so don't really try to think that you're going to probably get yourself stuck somewhere in the Temple of the Ocean King, because I remember when I went and first played through Phantom Hourglass the first time, I thought that we actually had to go and try to find a bomb bag somewhere as quickly as possible, but that's not what is going to be the case. We'll kind of have to wait until a little bit later when the bombs actually do start appearing for us to go and use. Then we'll go and start heading back over here at some point to then get all those secret accessible type of ways to it. So for right now, we just got our boomerang. Just keep on hitting all the different switches that are around here. This will mainly help us a lot more throughout our way to try to find out where the next type of sea chart is going to be. Now, we should be getting ourselves closer to, I think, one more type of floor left. Now, the other said floor is going to be having a lot of different force gems that we're going to have to be picking up. Now, if you guys have been playing throughout Four Swords Adventures before, you may probably heard of the name of force gems. And force gems originally back in like the Four Sword Adventure days would actually be somewhat of like a currency in the game. And you were able to like get like different type of like purchases of other things and whatnot. Well, however, these type of force gems in Phantom Hourglass that is going to happen, these are going to be meant for actually locating where the next sea chart is going to be. So for right now, we just have one more key to go and put on into here, and then we can head off into the last and final floor. And this is where we're going to have to be looking out for different said chests that will have those said force gems here. Now, just be careful. There's going to be a little bit of some other phantoms around here as well, so they will keep on appearing, and that will not be fun. Now, there is going to be another set enemy at some point, which they're going to be really, really obnoxious, and I don't know if I should go and point them out yet or not, because I know that we're not really onto that other typical part of the floor yet of the Temple of the Ocean King, but I'll at least just kind of give you at least somewhat of a brief type of analysis within these set enemies are. There's going to be like these floating eyeballs that will be happening at some point, and if they actually detect on where you are going to be, they will actually call out a said phantom and they'll try to attack you from there. And those guys get more and more obnoxiously annoying, but again, mind you, we do have the boomerang, so I'm pretty sure we can go and knock them out pretty fast. Now around over here, as you guys go and see, yes, there is a switch, but there's also an eyeball switch too. Now, we don't really have the arrows yet, but that should give us a special type of chest later. And mainly every time that you come back over here to the Temple of the Ocean King, it is like, I think at least somewhat mandatory for you to like try to pick up with some of these other different chests that are going to be here in the in this type of dungeon, because when you go and return back to some of these previous places, you might actually want to go and pick up with some of the different spirit gems, because there's going to be a place known as Spirit Island, which you'll be able to get like different upgrades and whatnot for all your different fairies, and it will be a very big type of help to at least be somewhat overpowered in this game. So for right now, we're just going to kind of have to sit back and wait for this phantom to come on across over here. And all that we really do need from this guy is that we just need to pick up the key. Now, this said key will give us the last of these force gems, and then we should be able to keep on continuing onwards with. So I have a funny feeling that that eyeball is actually meant for that fire to get turned off, but unfortunately we can't really do anything about with that for right now. So we're going to place the second last force gem into this way here, so we're at least getting just almost about into our way of completing off with that said type of Triforce area. Now, just as a reminder, at some point later on down the road here in this said dungeon, there is going to be a said door which we're going to have to sketch an actual said Triforce, and mind you, if you're not like the best type of drawer, either way, it'll still work. It'll still access for it, as long as you actually have it somewhat like 90% somewhat the best type of way for it. Like, it doesn't have to be like 100%, but at least like somewhat around like 80 or 90% somewhat perfect. So yeah, there's actually another one of those type of special doors there. Right now, we can't really do anything about with it at the moment, because again, we haven't went through the other said dungeon yet. But somebody tells me that I think we got ourselves a water dungeon coming up pretty soon. But there we go, got ourselves with the sea chart there, so that is for the northwestern sea chart. Now, mind you, when we start heading all the way up into that area, I don't think we can really go and do too much about with that for right now, because at some point when we start reaching all the way up into that said top part there, there will be a lot of dense fog, and I don't think we'll be able to do it unless we have some sort of pattern to reach on into that way. And not only that, but we also do need some sort of cannon as well too in the process. So for right now, we can't really get ourselves with a cannon ship part yet, so we'll have to wait for that until the next episode from when we go and take care of the rest of the other parts here in the chapter 2 part of what we do need here. So after blowing all the dust away from the sea chart, that will be our next location right up there. But we will have to head all the way up there just to at least get a little bit of some cutscene dialogue going on for that. But, however, I think this is going to be a perfect enough time for us to go and end off the said episode for today. So thank you guys so much for going and checking out here on Phantom Hourglass. In the next one, we will actually have to then go and head off to that new said location there. And, yeah, and of course, peace.